This video gives an introduction to the investment analysis module, going through the first overview example. So the first thing that's important for us to realize is that it's a framework centered around a P&L or risk factor simulation. So this is here what you see in the middle, where you have this matrix with S scenarios and I columns, which can be either returns for different assets or asset classes, or even risk factors such as interest rates or implied volatility surfaces and things like that. Here we write P&L just because all of the functions make sense for P&L, but many of them also make sense for risk factors in general. Okay, so here whatever is marked with nice corners boxes here, that's intended to mean the functionality that the module provides, while everything which is an empty box, this is the input that you should give. So for example, if you want to work with entropy pooling, it takes as input this P&L and risk factor simulation, which can come either from the parametric sampling functionality that follows with the investment analysis module, or ideally some simulation that you made in the investment simulation module using things like fully flexible resampling or variation autoencoders, for example. With entropy pooling, you will get as output this updated probability vector, and you can of course input some non-uniform probability vector also for the P&L in the prior initially. But the thing is that for entropy pooling to work, you need to specify some views and stress test. And how you come up with these views or stress tests, that's entirely up to you. You can do it however you want and whatever makes sense. The thing is also that you can come with an input with causal hypothesis about how markets behave. So for example, using Bayesian nets to translate macroeconomic data into P&L in your portfolio. So this is again some functionality that we provide, and as output here you will get some causal views and stress tests that you can use in entropy pooling. Alright, so once you have the simulation, you have specified the views and the stress test, then probably you would want to optimize your portfolio and analyze the risk. So this is where we have this optimization object. So first of all, it takes in optimization parameters. So for example, do you want to have tracking error constraints, and which risk targets do you have? Do you want to optimize the efficient frontier or some specific portfolio? Do you want to do it with resampling or no? And things like that. It also takes the portfolio object as input, and basically the portfolio object it holds the current holdings that you have for a portfolio, which is relevant if you do something with transaction costs. It can have a benchmark and also the actual investment constraints that you can specify. All of these things you can also use in the analysis functions, where basically we have something like marginal contributions to risk and return, and some diversification analysis functionality. Okay, so all of this should also hopefully be clear if you read the portfolio construction risk management book. So already in chapter 1 we specified that the entire framework is centered around this Monte Carlo simulation that we have here in the middle.